Hello everyone, welcome to the Cherry Heart podcast. I'm Sandra and this is episode 82 of this crafty podcast about crochet and knitting and sewing and other bits and bobs. You can find the show notes for this podcast on my blog, which is cherryheart.co.uk. Just click the podcast tab and then select show notes, and I'll also put a link directly in the box down below if you're watching online, and that's where I'll have all the links to everything I talk about and the projects I talk about and some more pictures and so on. So that's a good place to go if you've forgotten something I said. You can also find me on the web as Cherry Heart, and I'm Sandra, Cherry HRT, on Instagram. Hello, how are you? I'm quite good today. It's quite cold here today. The box, my little crafty house, is warming up nicely, but there's frost outside this morning, so it actually feels a little bit like winter is sort of trying to happen. Yeah, it's been so mild so far. This feels almost like a refreshing change. Yeah, so that's quite pleasant. I was going to talk about what I've been up to, but I don't think I have been up to anything much really. Not very exciting anyway. So let me tell you about my crafty goings on, at least, because that's the bit we're actually interested in, isn't it? I'm just looking around to see what I've got that I've finished since last time to show you. Hello, so sorry to interrupt your viewing, but I actually forgot to mention something, and it's my Nature's Walk blanket again. If you were here last time, I know I said this is going to be the last time I mentioned it, but actually something else has happened that I just quickly want to tell you about, so I'll pop a picture of the blanket in case you're new and don't know what I'm talking about, which would be a miracle, but anyway. I just wanted to say that the Nature's Walk blanket is now available in US terms. It was originally all in UK terms, but now I've done the translation and so it's updated. So if you prefer working from US terms, you can now just download that copy. So the original Nature's Walk blanket, the free pattern, you can just pop along and download the US terms, and then if you've purchased the bonus squares, you should have already had an update email letting you know. Within another email link so that you can click and download it. But if for any reason you didn't get that, if you go to your Ravelry library and find the pattern in there, there'll just be an update button. If you press that, then you'll be able to get the update that way. And if you had the bonus squares via the yarn packs, which we got from Black Sheep Wools, I'm just sorting out with them so that we can send the update through to you. And hopefully we're going to figure out a way so you can add the pattern to your Ravelry library if you want to as well, but that will be coming soon. So yes, I just wanted to mention that for anyone that was put off by UK terms originally, you can now get the US version. Hooray! Okay, now I'll let you return to your regular programming. Okay, bye. Where shall I start? I'll start with these because this is a little thing. So I've just made up a couple more of my pinecone cloths. These are in a larger size. So last time I showed you the mitts that I'd made up, and I'd made some stripy versions. And this is just the cloths again, but this is a bigger size than's in the pattern. The pattern size is just like a little sort of hand size. It's quite a nice sort of face cloth. But I'm sort of replacing my cleaning cloths as they run out with just something that I can rewash and reuse. So I wanted sort of something sort of a bit bigger for cleaning the bathroom. I don't know if you can hear that, but I think a pigeon has landed on the roof because I can hear it sort of pattering and banging around, but a bit distracted, a bit distracting for me even. Yes, so I wanted something a bit bigger just when cleaning the bathroom, and I sort my floors, I tend to be a just get down on my hands and knees and give it a bit of a scrub kind of person. So I just wanted something that would work well for that. So I did two. This one actually, I started this one first and I sort of guesstimated how big to do it and just sort of, you know, chained along. I thought actually this is working up quite huge. I was going to keep it sort of going along so it was in proportion, but I thought that would actually be a bit big, so I started another one slightly smaller in width. Can you see what I'm talking about? Like, this is the, you know, I started at the bottom and worked up, and the same with this one. So this one was wider, well, it is wider. So I went up and I thought, well, that looks about in proportion, I'll leave that there. And then I realised the amount I'd already done on this one. I thought maybe I'll frog this one and make it small again, but then I realised the amount actually pretty much worked out the same that way. So I just ended it, and I've got the pattern going the other way on that one. But it still works, doesn't it? So, yes. What I was going to do, I nearly said about this last time, but for the mitts, which Sam made these up in a couple of podcasts ago when we podcasted together. She'd brought over her wash mitts that she'd made. So I was just going to update the pattern with just instructions of how to do that. I mean, it's quite simple. You just sort of need 2 of them, and you know, you pop them together, and just how to finish off the edges and put the little sort of chain loop, sorry, little hanging loop on. So I thought it'd be good in the shower. You can hang them on the little things, you know, the little shower hanging things. That's where I'm going to put mine anyway. So yes, I just wanted to check with Sam she was okay with me popping that in the pattern, because she'd done it originally and I hadn't actually done that. So, but she said I could. So thank you, Sam. You're a lovely friend. Yeah, so if you've already got the pattern, I'll just do it as a little update, and you can just get the updated version if you wanted that. But if you haven't got it already, then I will add that to the existing pinecone cloth and puffs pattern. So, and I thought I might just pop in the larger size for you as well, just for reference, so you know how much yarn it takes up. Yeah, so that's all I had to say about that. That was just a nice quick little finish. They sort of took about an evening each, these bigger cloths. So that's nice and easy, and now I've got something nice for cleaning my bathrooms and whatnot with, and floors with. Yeah, that's all there is to say about that, isn't there? That pattern is available already, by the way, just to be clear. No, that was clear because I said I'd do it as an update, didn't I? Yeah, you know. But I'll pop the link in my show notes if you're interested in that. So the other thing I had finished is another one that you had seen last time, and that's my long wristies, my wool barn wristies, I'm calling these in lieu of a better name. So this is made with wool barn yarn, and I've just realised I didn't bring the labels up, so that's helpful, isn't it? This brand, it's her cashmere sock colourway. It's a 4-ply yarn, and I'm holding it double, so it's knitting up to a sort of a nice Aran / worsted weight. But I knit it on a 4.5 needle, I believe, so it's quite, I wouldn't say it's a firm fabric, but it's nice and sort of dense and warm. But it's such soft yarn, it's really squishy and lovely. So it doesn't feel like it's too dense, it feels just like it's nice and warm and snuggly. So my original idea for this was to make a pair of mitts I'd seen the pattern for on Ravelry, which was called Two Blue Ruins, I think. And then I started that several times and ended up not doing the pattern. I just kind of abandoned it. But it did have this stripe in the sort of the blue, thicker blue with a thinner brown stripe. So the colours are inspired by it. They didn't have the brown bit on like that. It was more like that. Yeah, so this is, it doesn't follow the pattern at all in any way. I've like put increases in mine, and yeah, it's completely different. But I did just keep that striping, which I liked from the original. But yeah, I just made these up as I went along in the end. I decided I quite liked just a thicker brown bit at the top, so I did that. Then I went into the stripes, and then I've added, I think you can see So added some increase because it goes, they're long enough to go like right up my arm, look. So they're gonna go, they can go around my elbows. So that I can have them really long and snugly, or I can sort of scrunch them up a bit if I want to. Yeah, so I needed some increases to get over my arms, and then I just finished with a brown, longer brown bit as well. And then at the ends, I didn't want to do any ribbing or anything, but I didn't particularly want them to just roll up, so I've just added a little round of crochet on the top edges. So it's just a round of, I keep wanting to say single crochets, which is right, but that's American terms. Normally I talk in UK terms, but yes, so that's double crochets in UK terms, single crochets in American terms. But yeah, just literally went round and did a stitch, a crochet stitch in each knit stitch, and then at the bottom I did the same, but I did 2 rounds at the bottom. And I have blocked these, but they were sitting fairly flat before I blocked them. I just blocked them so they were the same. One was curling slightly more than the other. One mitt was curling slightly more. So I'm hoping that that will keep them sort of nice and straight and they won't curl up too much, but time will tell, I guess. Yes, I've kept them all pristine to show you. And now I can wear them, but they're so thick and snuggly. This yarn, Maya's yarn, I mean the colours are exquisite, but the feel of this yarn, it's a cashmere, I said that didn't I, cashmere sock, so it has got a portion of cashmere in it. Or was it cashmerino sock? Anyway, it's got some cashmere in it, so it's lovely. And I was going to tell you the colours, but that's the bit I'm not sure I remember. I know the brown is walnut. It's this blue I'm not too sure of. I'll have to put it on the link, you know, if you particularly want to know that colour. Yes, very happy with those. Nice, easy make. The first mitt actually did take me a while to do, considering it's, you know, I'm working up to Aran weight. It seemed like a little bit of a slog, but I think that was just because I kept stopping and sort of trying it on and, you know, just checking how many decreases I would need to do. It was when I did the second one. I just wished for it, quick as anything. So that's what I have finished. What now? Works in progress. What I'm doing now. So first one I'm going to show you is something you've seen before. So I'll just talk about this one briefly. So it's a sock. Let's pop it on a blocker, shall we? There it is. So it's a self-striping yarn. So the yarn is doing all the work in this one because it's just a vanilla sock. This is the rest of the ball, ready to start the second one. And this one is from Down Sheepy Lane. And I love the colours of this so much. And I actually, it's 4 colours. I didn't realise that at first. I thought this was just a pink, but you can just see, like here you can see, it's like a pinky and a peachy in there as well. Oh, I love this combination so much. And I've just put this pale grey mini I had in for the heels and toes, which is that one. Not sure where that came from. Might have been the Fibre Fox. I've got a set of minis just behind the camera. I think I might have taken it out of there. Not sure of the name, but it was a grey and it seemed to work. So yeah, not a lot to say about this. It's a vanilla sock. I mostly do my vanilla socks as I have written in my pick and mix pattern, but this has got a fish lips kiss heel, and I also did a twisted rib, which I don't think I've got that in the pattern. I'm not sure. Yeah, so happy with that. I think the fish lips kiss heel I did over slightly more than half the stitches, because I just find that this bit, it fits nicely, but this bit will pull and distort where it has to fit over arch my foot, because I guess I must have quite high foot arches, I don't know. But yeah, so I thought I would try doing it over slightly more than half of the stitches. So I put like 2 stitches either side. Does that make sense? So on the needle that I was doing the fish lips kiss over, I added 2 stitches at the front and 2 stitches at the back from the other needle. So there's 4 more stitches than half. So instead of doing 32, gosh, this is so garbled. I had 32 stitches on each needle, and then I moved 4 to the back needle. So I had 36 stitches to the back needle, and then I did the fish lips kiss heel across those, and then went back to, you know, normal. Well, I worked all the way down here and forgot I'd done it actually, and then when I got to the heel I thought something strange is happening here. Toe, sorry, I thought something strange is happening here. So I had to sort my stitches out, so I had an even number on each needle again to do the decreases. But yes, so I have to remember that I did that so that I do the same thing on the next sock, because I know what I'm like. I wonder if I put that in my Ravelry page. I should put a note. I'll have to put a note in this project, I think, to remind me to do that. Yeah. But like I say, it's all the yarn is doing all the work in this, and I love it. So these are my birthday socks, and this colourway is called, it's the Danish word which I'm going to attempt to pronounce, hygge, which probably isn't quite right, but I think you know the word I mean. That nice, cosy, comforting, lovely word, and that sums these up perfectly, because that's exactly how I feel about these. They make me so happy. So oh, I forgot to show you actually another thing I finished. This is the Christmas make actually, and it's, you might have seen these because I posted the pattern as part of my Cherry Hearts Christmas presents, the sort of advert, you know, open a door and there was a special offer on the patterns. Yes, I'd made up these. This was a pattern I did a while ago from a magazine, which I originally had these 2 versions. Oh, I've got a grumbling dog now coming to visit. Are you going to go sit down? Because I need to lift things up. Oh. Come on in, Chuck. Oh. Oh. Here he is. You're getting quite the frequent visitor now, aren't you? Yes, so that was the original, which I'd made in the yarn that I was given, which was acrylic, but I wanted to make some cotton versions up, so I thought that would be just nice, really. Just thought it would be a nice alternative. I was going to say because it washes up well, but then so did the acrylic, to be fair. But I did think the cotton might be a little bit more absorbent and sort of a little bit more pleasant against the skin, maybe, for baby. Yeah, so that's the one with the little kisses on, and I made a heart one again as well, so it's got a little cross stitch heart on, and then I just did a different variation where I did the colour change in a different place, so I put the kisses up here. So I wrote, so I released the pattern basically with all of those variations in. Yeah, so that's, I called it my baby kisses bibs because they got little kisses on them. And that's just a written pattern. I haven't got sort of, like sometimes I do charts or photos and things, but this one's purely a written pattern, so this one is a little bit cheaper in price as well. But yeah, I completely forgot to show those off, and I also need to gift these now to my lovely nieces while they are still small enough to appreciate them. Yeah, so it was supposed to be part of their Christmas gift, to be honest, but I forgot to put it in, and I only found them up in here the other day, so that's not very good, is it? But anyway, they'll just have to have it as a little supplemental New Year's present now. Alright, so what else have we got to talk about? Oh, here's another continuing story for you. My English paper piecing hexagon. So I've started to make it into my laptop bag now, which, as you can see, isn't quite finished yet. But yes, I had a picture on Instagram the other day of me taking the papers out, and I've now stitched it together. So I've got the basic bag, added this linen on the bottom, and just some little hearts for decoration. And I've got the inside and everything, but I wanted to give it a little edging around the top. So I thought this stripy fabric might make a nice little top edge. And it needs some handles, so it's just going to have some handles up so I can carry it like that. And then it'll be finished. So I just wanted something I could just slot it in to protect it when because I tend to just leave it propped up, you know, next to a chair or down the side of something in the house, because I'm just constantly reaching to use it, so it's generally just hanging around. So I thought it'd be nice if it was a little bit protected, and also I thought it'd be nice if it looked pretty while it did that. So I think this will look a nicer thing to hang around the house. I just did some very, very basic, it's padded, so I gave it a sort of, you can see the thickness to it there. And I just did some very basic little bit of quilting around the hearts, and I'm not sure you'd even see, there's just a little tiny bit of stitching in the corner of some of the hexagons. It's the one that's going to show up so that I can show you. They don't show up against the fabric massively well. Just a little tiny little bit in some of the corners just to hold it down so it didn't go anywhere. Yeah, so that's almost finished. Might finish that off today, hopefully. Yeah, I put it all together and made it up and thought, oh my goodness, it's not going to fit. It just looked too small to me to fit my laptop in, but thankfully it did fit. So that was a relief. And then next, let's talk about this one. So this is an ongoing saga. So if you're new, I'll just briefly fill you in that I was leafing through a magazine, lovely house, Swedish sort of cottage house, and it had a nice picture of this gorgeous white filet crochet style blanket, and I really loved it. So I was trying to track down the pattern or find out anything about it. Anyway, couldn't find any pattern for it, so I've tried to recreate it basically, and this is the blanket. I'll just pop a picture of the magazine picture in so you can see. But if you were here before, you'll remember all that, and you'll be glad to know I finally actually started the thing. Just try to show, I was just going to turn it around so it's not the sides with the ends showing. Oh, that is the sides with the ends showing. I've turned it the wrong way up. Why is this so difficult? Here we go. Right, there we go. So this is what I have so far. Try and fit it in. That's clear, isn't it? Clear as mud. I was supposed to start this at Christmas. I got it all ready. If you watched Vlogmas, my Vlogmas, you might have seen me getting all the getting a big basket I made and got all the yarn together to make it. I was going to start it sort of after Christmas and before New Year, in that nice sort of quiet period. But I ended up not, partly because we ended up being busier than I thought during that time. But mostly I just procrastinated a little bit on it, I think, because the numbers just don't work. Yeah, so I came up with sort of like the best fit, if you like, my best fit, and I thought it would just have to be that because the numbers don't work nicely, so it'll have to be this, and I'll just have to sort of see the best way to sort of jig it to get it to work. But I know I wasn't 100% satisfied with that, so I think that's why I procrastinated. So anyway, I've gone back to it yet again, so this is like the third or fourth time I've been doing it. And I've tried out so many little tweaks and variations to get the numbers to work out. But I've finally come up with something that I'm a lot happier with, I think, and is generally simpler. So yes, so now I think I do feel like, okay, I'm ready to go forward with it. Sorry, that was long-winded and probably quite dull. I hope that wasn't too boring for you. Let me just show you the blanket so you've got something nice to look at instead. Yeah, so anyway, I like how it's looking. I like how it's working up. I'm almost thinking I would quite like to progress the pattern even before I finish this, because I kind of would like, maybe, well, what I'm trying to say, and I'm not actually saying anything at all, is I'm wondering about whether to get testers on for it, because I've done so many trials of what I want to do, even though I haven't made up the proper full size version of it. I know exactly how I want it to go, and I've got, you know, I'm pretty much there with the pattern writing, and also maybe even charts I was thinking of attempting, but I kind of need that sort of tester to sort of, you know, I think it makes sense, but does it make sense to anyone else? It's that old conundrum, isn't it? So I'm wondering whether to sort of get some testers to sort of make up a smaller little bit, just to check out that my whole explanation, my whole idea works really. Or is it understandable? I know it works, but is it understandable? So yeah, I know a couple of people said they'd be interested in testing the pattern when it's ready, but I don't know, would anyone be interested in testing it just as a small sample piece? Probably not that much bigger than this actually, with a border round, and then obviously once the test was complete, I'd send, you know, you'd get the full proper pattern with everything in it as well, for free obviously. But yeah, I don't know if anyone would be interested in doing that, sort of making up a small piece first and then they could sort of make up a full size blanket afterwards. But I don't know, maybe let me know if that's something you're interested in. I know a couple of people were interested in testing the pattern, so if you'd like to contact me again, or I'll perhaps try and contact you because I've got the name somewhere. But yeah, if anyone is interested in testing up a little sample piece for me, let me know, because I think that might be quite helpful. So vintage crochet, while we're talking about vintage crochet, I've got a bit of a bug for it at the moment, and I think just because some things have fallen in my lap recently, and yeah, they seem of a similar sort. I'm saying words but not actually saying anything again. So this is my next thing that sparked off my my little crochet heart. So this is a shawl. My mum gave this to me. I mentioned in Vlogmas that my nan had recently gone into a home, so they were sorting out all her bits and bobs from her house, because obviously she can't take everything with her into the home. So one of the some of the things that Nan wanted me to have was this, some of her crochet items basically, and a few other bits and bobs. So as part of that, Mum has given me this, which is crochet, but I don't know if you can see, it's because it's fluffy wool. It's actually some sort of, I don't know if it's called hairpin lace. Let me just show you one bit, actually, it might be easier. I don't know if it's hairpin lace or what they call broomstick crochet. I'm not entirely clear on the difference, but you can see it on the edge in here as well. So that's, see how that's just all yarn. It's not sort of intertwined as crochet stitches would be. It's literally just pulled up yarn, but it's not like a puff stitch. So I'm looking at it again now. Yeah, I thought it was called broomstick crochet, but maybe it's the same, because I think hairpin lace you actually do on a special sort of two-pronged thing, don't you? But I don't know if it's different. But yeah, so these are normal chain stitches, but these longer bits are all in a different style. They're not regular crochet stitches. Trying to see if these little middle bits are as well. Yeah, the middle bits are as well. But they're not quite puff stitches because they're not all puffed up and fat. They're all individual pulled up bits of yarn. Yeah. Anyway, I like the look, the sort of pattern you get when it's all made out. I'm not quite sure I'd use this shawl though, because it's sort of mohair and it's quite prickly. But I do appreciate the pattern. So I had a little try at recreating the motif just using regular crochet. I didn't bother sort of trying to look at the hairpin stuff. But yeah, I've just made it up as a normal motif. And I'm quite liking how that looks too. So yeah, so I want to do something with this now. I'd quite like to do another bedspread with it, but 2 white crochet bedspread seems a bit over the top, doesn't it? Yeah. So I want to do something with that. That's a kind of idea that I want to do. And I've also, because she also gave me a pile of doilies and things, and I had some others that I collected up. I haven't got the box here at the moment because I've taken it down to do things with. But I've also got a few other doilies and bits and bobs, and I was thinking of doing something with those, sort of repurposing them in a different way. But some of the individual doilies were really pretty, and I kind of want to recreate those before I repurpose them. Maybe, like if I look on Ravelry, there's loads of doily patterns, so I could find some of them in there. I'm sure some of them will be in there. But on the other hand, there's 9,000 doily patterns almost in Ravelry, and that's a lot of doily patterns to look through and try and match up. So maybe some I'll just recreate for fun. But anyway, that's a long-winded way of saying I've also got this piece which I really like, and this is really fine thread indeed. Not quite sure what size hook would have been used for that, but I made up that motif. So if you can, there's one of those there. It's that size. I made it up, and this is in double knit yarn, but still. So I made it up in double knit, and that's how big it came out. So quite different. Just a little bit different. But yeah, I quite like it big too. It's almost like a little doily of its own, like that. So yeah, so I'm just having fun sort of playing around with those a little bit really at the minute. But I'll hopefully try and track some down on Ravelry, because obviously I don't want to be... I kind of like the idea of reverse engineering them just for my own purposes, but I can't be like releasing patterns of those if, you know, there's still patterns that are about. So I'll have to see if I can track them down and just follow the patterns, I think, on those. But yeah, I don't know, it's just a fun little thing to do. I just quite like them. Not quite sure what I would use individual doilies for. But I do like to put them on things, so sort of, you know, plique on a bag or on a project bag maybe, things like that I think would be quite nice. So that's what I'm thinking. Right, so incoming goodies is in my last section, I think. I haven't got any pips, patterns in progress to talk about really, apart from this blanket thing, which I've already mentioned. So yeah, so goodies from friends first. So I've got a giveaway for you, and yeah, another interesting little thing that I'm really excited about to share with you. So first up is this Modern Crochet Bible. So this is by my friend, where is her name up there, right at the top, Sarah Shrimpton. So that's Sarah from Annaboo's House. I've known her for years, since the blogging days. Well, we both still have a blog, but yeah, that's when I got to know her. And she's done several crochet books, but this is her latest one. And she very kindly said I could do a giveaway. So I have 2 of these that well, I've got 4 to give away. I'm going to do 2 on the podcast, and I'll tell you how to do that, and I'm also going to give away 2 via Instagram. So this book is basically what it says. It's all you need to know about modern crochet. So what it is a breakdown of all the basic information you need, so all the stitches that you might use, you know, a bit of information about the hooks, the yarns. It's just a really great book to get you started first off, because it's got everything you need to know is easy to refer to in here. So like how to do the stitches. It's then, you know, the basic stitches, then it's got some more intermediate stitches, and then it shows you kind of ways you can combine them in patterns. But it's also got a little overview of just all the sort of different techniques. So it's got a little bit about filet crochet in here. It's got about changing colour, like sort of tapestry. Is that the right word for changing colour crochet? It's got like the mosaic. Let me show you actually. That'd be easier, wouldn't it? It's got a bit about amigurumi in here. It's got how to do cables. It's got a thing in here about how to do that colour pooling technique. It's just a really good sort of get you up to speed really quick on everything that's good that's going on in crochet a minute. It's got things about mandalas in here. So there's patterns in here as well. Where's the one I was going to show about? Oh yes, look, this is the mosaic crochet. This is everywhere at the minute. So you can make such amazing patterns just using that technique. I'm not even sure I know how that the hell that works myself, to be honest with you. Oh look here, look at this one. In the same technique. Look at that. That's amazing. Yeah, so it's obviously brilliant for beginners. It's got all the sort of go-to information you need to know, all the basic information that you might forget and need to refer to, but it's also really good kind of, I don't know, like even from intermediate crochet, you've got all that, oh, how did you just do that again? Sort of all the different techniques. I mean, you can crochet a long while and only use like 1 or 2 techniques in crochet and not even look at, you know, the 4 or 5 or 6 or however many other techniques there are. So yeah, I don't know, I just think it's really useful. I was quite impressed actually. Well done, Sarah, you're so clever. Yeah, I just think that's really cool. It's anything that people are doing in crochet at the moment, you're going to find in this book, and you're going to find information on how to do it and also a pattern that you could use to do it as well. So yeah, I think that's brilliant. So thank you for my copy, Sarah. That's really appreciated. I should definitely be referring to that again. And also, if you would like a chance to win a copy for yourself, if you pop along to my Ravelry group, Cherry Heart's Cozy Corner, just go to Ravelry and search that under the groups tab. You'll find that if you're not already in the group. And I'll open a thread for it. Obviously you have to be a member of the group to win a copy, and the prompt will be, what would the prompt be? What would you most like to find out from this book? What's the first thing you'll look up if you got a copy of this book? That's what I'd like to know. Yeah, so I'll keep the giveaway open for a week. So we'll say the 28th. You have until the 28th of January to enter that. So pop along to the Ravelry group. Make sure you're a member of that group, and you can win this. It's open worldwide, so you can win this wherever you are in the world. We can get that sent to you. So yeah, good luck for that. And then if you're not on Ravelry, so you can't enter that way, keep your eyes peeled on my Instagram, because I'll also be having a giveaway on there, so you'll be able to enter that way instead. So that's that one, which was very exciting. And then the other goodie I got from a lovely crochet friend is some gorgeous, gorgeous yarn. Now this, I think, is really exciting, because this is wool, British woolly wool. But look what I'm doing with it. It's as soft as can be. So what's unique, this is a brand new yarn base that Helen from Woolly Chic is developing. She's calling it Heart Spun Yarn, which is just a beautiful name for it. Now she has British wool products already that she sells. I'll pop her links down below so you can check it out. But what this is it's combined the British wool that she already knows and sells, and it's combined with tencel, which is made from wood. So it's a process which turns trees into yarn, basically, or into fibre that you can create yarn out of. So it's a wood pulp, and it's processed and made into fibres, and it's then combined with the wool to make this gorgeous new yarn. Now I asked Helen to have an undyed one, partly because I'm just really enjoying these sort of pale, like the whites and the creams at the moment for projects, it seems. But also I thought maybe I might have a little go at dyeing it. I'm not sure I dare because it feels so gorgeous, I don't want to mess it up. Or maybe I'll have a little go with it first and see if I want to make something just as it is. I would quite like to have a go at dyeing it. But yeah, but what's so exciting to me is because I'm quite sensitive to wool normally. And it normally means it's pretty much out of bounds for me. Occasionally, if it's a really soft baby alpaca, I can wear it, very occasionally. And then if it's anything else, sometimes I can like maybe use it as socks, but most of the time it means it's wool, unless I'm using it for sort of like a bag or some sort of house accessory. It normally means it's out of bounds for me. But this is so soft, not prickly at all. And so I'm really excited. I might actually be able to use some proper wool products. But just from an environmental standpoint, because I'm, you know, trying to sort of do a little bit more this year in terms of making more sustainable choices, basically. And of course, with a lot of the yarn, there isn't really all the choices basically have some kind of problematic area. You know, the acrylic is obviously plastic and releases microfibers. Cotton's a plant crop, so that's great, but it's an incredibly thirsty crop. And so wool, sort of on the surface of it, does seem like quite a good solution, but then I find most wool very itchy, so then I can only use merino. You know, like anything, any fibre you create is going to have, well, from what research I've done, you know, don't take my word for it, look into it yourself, obviously, but from what I found out, most things have some kind of problematic impact of some kind. It's just how big is it and how much of an impact does it make. So if this is from wool, which is obviously completely sustainable and helps the British farmers and so on, but also from wood pulp, again an organic product that will decompose, you know, it'll all decompose, biodegrade down, but also is sustainable, you can plant more trees, then that's got to be a really good thing. And it feels amazing. So yes, anyway, I'm really excited about this project. And I think what's great about this is it's still obviously wool. I don't know if you can sort of see that it's got some fibres coming out from the top there, and it feels like wool. Like I know I'm handling sheep's wool, but at the same time, normally the feeling I normally get from wool, which is a bit like, ooh, because it just, I don't know, that sort of prickly itchiness that I get just isn't there at all. And it's like, I can't quite believe it. It's amazing. You have to, well, I'd say you have to feel it yourself, but you can't. I wish you could. I wish you could feel it through your screens and sort of see. But anyway, Helen, because this is a brand new base, and Helen's trying to get this off the ground as a new project, so she started a Kickstarter for it. And I'll pop the link down here. I'll pop the link in show notes as well. I know she's doing really fantastically with it, and last time I checked, I think she was 80% there, so that's fantastic. I've popped along obviously because I'm really excited about it. But if that's something that you would be interested in, or if that appeals to you, I'll just put the link there in case you want to use it. It's not a big like, oh, you must go and, you know, not everyone can afford to do those things. Not everyone's going to be as interested in it as I am because, you know, maybe you can just use a real deal. But yeah, I wanted to tell you about it because when I heard she was doing it, I was like, oh my goodness, this sounds amazing. So Helen is going to have other colourways available once she's got it going, hoping, you know, if she can get it off the ground. I know she's just got some samples in this beautiful colour and she's got a nice purple as well, but she'll have other shades as well, obviously. But yeah, I'm going to try it out and I'll sort of let you know how I get on with it, and maybe I'll be brave enough to dye some and I'll show you that as well. But yeah, I really wanted to talk about lovely Helen from Woolly Chic. Hi Helen, if you're watching. Yeah, I really hope you get there with this because I just think this is a magnificent idea. But yes, I wanted to share that with you. And then last of all are some little birthday things that I got for myself. So I got these lovely yarns from Eden Cottage Yarns. Oh my goodness, just trying. So 2 of these and 2 of these, and this is actually, you might have seen it on Instagram. They were talking about it sort of just before and just after Christmas. There was a pattern, I'm going to look at her name, Anna Dervout, is that? Her Instagram is along.avec.anna. So she's a French knitwear designer and she came out with a gorgeous jumper pattern, completely free, would you believe? I don't know if it's still free, but it was free at the time. And Eden Cottage Yarns were doing yarns to make the jumper in, and they had these lovely combinations of, what is this yarn actually? Merino, I believe. Yeah, so merino and mohair combinations to choose from, and I went for this gorgeous pale version. So both of these colours are called Stonecrop. This is their Titus 4 ply, so it's 75% superwash merino and 25% silk. And this one is their Eldwick lace, and it's 70% kid mohair and 30% silk. So I've got 100 grams of this and 200 grams of this. Did I move and make you uncomfortable? I am so sorry. Yes, and I've got my jumper patterns. So that was my birthday present to myself, to get those and make up that jumper. So I'm going to do that at some point. I'm not quite ready to dive into it yet, I don't think, but yeah, don't want to leave it too long. So I got those to make that, so that was very nice. Happy birthday to me. And I also got this lovely sewing book. So this is by Minky Kim. She's on Instagram as, I'm going to look, I don't know how you say that at all. Zoranio? I'll put it down here. Zoranio? Anyway, yeah, I followed Minky for a long time. And I always look at her projects and think, oh my goodness, that's so gorgeous. I want to make that. I must get the pattern. And then, of course, she was saying, oh, I have got a book out. So I need to get that book. Yes, so that was just a little present for me. Look at these sewing cases on the back, aren't they cute? But yeah, just lots of little cute projects in here. There's one, this is first on my list, I think. Here it is, look. It's like a zipper pouch. So it's got a zip pouch at the top, and then it's got this pocket with a ruffle on the front. It just looks so cute. I love it. I love it, I need it. Yeah, lots of cute little things in here. So this one, these ones she shows on her Instagram quite a lot, and I'm always like, my goodness, that's, how do we even begin to make that? That's so cute. But now I know because I got the book. I don't know if I can do it, but I can but try. But yes, so those were my little birthday presents to myself. And I think that's all I have to share today. Have you got anything, Grumbly Hound? Can't even see him now, can you? Please. No, that is chair. You gonna say hello? Go say hello. Woo. Look, who's this? You gonna say hello? Not there. Here. Look where I am pointing. No, don't look at my face. Look. Useless. You're useless. Right, anyway, that's it from me and the hound. I'll see you next time. Bye!